Yes, madam, we are on live and we started receiving big hello from everyone. We are opening up the channels one after another.
Okay, great.
Yes, madam, we are on live and
Okay, it's kind of like 5:59.
exactly we uh, we are almost done. We are almost there.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, and we are on the way to start our proceedings for the day. So uh, it's all set. People started sharing and we started receiving all the responses all over the world. It's sharp 6 o'clock, 8:30 a.m. New York time and 6 p.m. India time. A warm welcome to everyone today from southern India and all our viewers all over the world. This is Pranav from the studio of NPAF and I have an deep honor to have Dr. Nandita with me all the way from Auroville, India. Dr. Nandita is the recipient of the Nari Shakti Award from the President of India, Honorable Pranab Mukherjee, for her extraordinary work in the segment of health and nutrition. That's why she is here. She is the author of the book named Reversing Diabetes in 21 Days. She has been popularly heard all over the world. She is inspired by the book from Dr. Ornish and many other scholars, and her scientific work is well accepted, well heard, and well appreciated all over the world. Dr. Nandita moved to Araval from the busy urban life of Bombay to Araval in southern India, nearby to based on the teaching of Sri Aurobindo and the mother. That's where she extended philanthropic support to many other activities. She advised me to stay brief, so I will sum up my introduction about her in less than 3 minutes. Dr. Shah did the internship in Farm Sanctuary in New York, US. That's where she learned the proceedings and the behavioral pattern of the animal. And if anything has brought me closer to her is a commitment to be the vegan and to stay and to inspire others to be vegan. That's why she is here today. It's my indeed honor, indeed a great reverence, with absolute reverence. It's my privilege to welcome Dr. Nandita Shah for our program today here at Canada. Dr. Nandita, we derived a few questions. I would not try to encroach upon the time. Viewers are eagerly viewing. People started arranging watch party for you, and our research team came up with approximately 7 questions, and we wish today you enlighten all of us with your scientific understanding to stay healthy. First question that we came across, that is most frequently asked to the nutritionist, is why did you concentrate on a food as a part of a treatment? Dr. Nandita, floor is yours today.
Thank you very much, and I'm so happy to be with all of you. Good morning or good evening, wherever you are, depending on where you are. Now, why did I change? Actually, I changed by chance personally myself, and I was brought up as a vegetarian. And when I found out about the intense cruelty of dairy farming, because in dairy farming, a cow doesn't give milk because she's a cow gives milk because she's a mother. And so, in order that we can consume milk, cows are artificially inseminated and their calves are taken away from them so that all their milk can be sold. I found this pretty horrifying because I know that every animal mother wants to be with her baby. And so when I understood this, I stopped having milk. But when I stopped having milk, I started seeing medical journals and I started understanding the bad effects of milk. For example, we've always been told that you need milk for calcium, and I found out that the highest incidence of osteoporosis occurs in countries with the highest consumption of dairy. So I started researching more and more, and I realized, you know, in general, medicines never cure. I mean, medicines never cure lifestyle diseases. For example, someone who has diabetes goes to a doctor, doctors give them medicines. Doctors also tell them to cut down their sugar and cut down their carbohydrates. But anyway, despite all this, nobody gets cured. Now, why does nobody get cured? Because the um, cause of diabetes is not addressed. The cause of diabetes is not sugar. The high blood sugar is the result of diabetes. The cause of diabetes is lack of insulin or insulin resistance, and we have to understand what is the cause of insulin resistance. And the minute we put our fingers on this, diabetes will go. So let me explain a little bit more. I understood that, when we look at animals, we know what they should eat. Cows should eat grass and lions should eat meat. But when it comes to us, we believe that we're omnivores. We have been told that we're omnivores. But actually, every animal eats according to instincts. And if we think about our own instincts, that means imagine if you were on a farm or an orchard and you see fruits and vegetables hanging there, what do you feel like doing? Picking and eating. These foods are instinctual to us. These are our foods. But imagine if you see a chicken walk by, or a goat, or a cow, does your mouth water? Or even a pig? Actually, not. Of course, if it's cooked and put on a plate and given to you, you might salivate, but that's because of conditioning. But when we see the animals that we put on our plate, we don't salivate. In fact, who would be attracted to a chicken? Maybe a dog or a fox. Chicken is dog food. Why? Because a dog can pounce on a chicken, tear it apart, and eat it whole. A dog would eat claws, beak, bones, skin, everything. Similarly, goats or cows could be lion food. So that means today we're eating dog food and lion food. And what else? Now imagine if you see green fields of wheat or rice in the village. Does your mouth water? No. Of course, you feel it's very calming scene and you feel attracted to it. And that's because we are attracted to nature, but it doesn't make us salivate. Who would be attracted to those green fields to actually eat? Maybe a cow. So now we're eating cow food, dog food, lion food, and milk. I grew up on a lot of milk and I used to love milk and I even thought that milk was healthy, so I had more of it. Milk and cheese and, yogurt, and curds, paneer, all kinds of things. And then I found out that it's not really our food. Now, how do we know that it's not our food? Because we've been told that it's the best food for human beings. But if you give an infant loves its mother's milk. But when you first give an infant cow's milk, does the infant appreciate? Not at all. And that's why we add sugar or cocoa and run around the kids with a glass or a bottle of milk because we believe that it's good for them. But instinctively, they know that it's not their food. They know that they are not calves. Every mammal produces milk only for their young, and in nature, no animal drinks another animal's milk. For example, goats don't drink pig's milk, and monkeys don't drink elephant's milk. And so, we should also consume only the foods that are suitable to our species. Now, I know that we brought up, and I was also brought up eating all the wrong foods. And I know that, like you, I was brought up thinking that I'm an omnivore and I can eat anything. And, the only reason I didn't eat meat was because my family didn't eat it. And as they didn't eat it, it was almost repulsive to eat an animal's body parts. But I can fully understand that those who grew up eating meat don't feel the same way, and that's just because of the lies that we have been told. Now, when we put the wrong fuel in our body, it's akin to taking a car that runs on petrol and putting in diesel, or giving a cow meat or a lion grass. It doesn't work. And that's the main reason we have so many illnesses today. So I just help people prevent and reverse diseases by understanding the food that's natural to our species and eliminating all the foods that are unnatural so that the body is always working to heal. So the body can heal. That's all I do. And I already mentioned that we should eat mainly plant-based foods, but even within plant-based foods, there are a lot of unhealthy things. For example, we are the only species that makes our food less nutritious by refining. And nutrients are the spare parts for healing. So if we refine our foods, refining means white rice, white flour, sugar, oil, but it also means peeling fruits and vegetables that a monkey would not peel. It means peeling fruits or vegetables that you need a tool to peel. It means having fruit juice when the fiber of the fruit is removed. So actually, if we consume all our foods whole, then it's another bonus point for healing. And lastly, we're the only species that sprays our food with poison. Other animals don't eat it. And other animals are smart enough not to eat it. But we eat, right? So I always recommend completely organic foods. So
Oh,
only three
wonderful. Mhm.
foods, I mean, plant-based foods, whole foods, and organic. 3 points to remember. And actually, Sharan, my organization, Sharan, has, and I can't say it's my organization, we have a lot of people, but I founded Sharan, and we have a 5 point plan. That means food should be plant-based, whole, organic, and check and supplement vitamins B12 and D. These are two vitamins that are likely to be low in our modern lifestyle in anyone. So
Mhm.
that's basically what I advise, and we get fabulous results.
Oh, wonderful, Doctor. The point taken. Point taken, Doctor. These all the questions are derived based on Google algorithm and popularity of vegan as a diet. So, switching over to the next question, could you please tell a bit more about the method of treatment today?
Mm, Yeah, so today in general, when you go to doctor, the doctor is keen to get you free of symptoms. For example, if you have a headache, you will get a painkiller, or if you have back pain, you will get a painkiller or anti-inflammatory, or if you have diabetes, then you will get some medicine to bring down your blood sugar, or if you have high blood pressure, you'll get some medicine to bring down your blood pressure. If you have asthma, you'll have a bronchodilator. So all these medicines are geared at alleviating symptoms. And that's not how I work. I always think, what is the cause of the disease? And remove that from the whole, lifestyle so that people just get well. I mean, I can't even tell you how quickly people get well. For example, we have a 21-day health retreat. And that takes place every year in June. In fact, one is coming up soon. And there we have people who have been sick or taking medicines for years. And we do all the lab reports at the beginning. And while enjoying, delicious buffet meals of healthy food, but it's also delicious, and having yoga and meditation and nature walks and cooking classes and all kinds of we watch some fun movies and do exercise, and we do all kinds of fun things. And during that time, people get better, and I reduce medicines as they get better, only with the help of tests. And by the end of the program, we do all the tests again, just so that they can compare the tests at the beginning and at the end and see how much of a difference occurs in 21 days. And I can't say that everyone gets off all their medications, but many get off at least 70% of their medications. Some get off all their medications in just 21 days. That's how.
Yeah, wonderful, Doctor. How can you say that the results are more predictable?
How do I say that the results are predictable? Well, one of the ways is because I've done 21-day program for 21 year. I mean, for 12 times or 13 times, and that's when I see all the participants, about 30 to 35 participants, every single day. And so I know what's going to happen, but I'm also seeing patients every day. I do consultations on phone and Skype and in live as well. And I follow up these patients. And I know that if we start consuming, eating and living the way we were designed to eat and live, then health is it just comes. You cannot escape health. So all this is very predictable. And I told you right in the beginning what our 5 point plan is. And even if you can go to our website www.sharan-india.org. I repeat, Sharan, SHARAN hyphen India.org. And if you go there, you can actually see our recipes and all the things we do. And you can even go to our YouTube channel because I believe that health should be free and health should be for everyone. And I believe that if you go to our website and download information, even our books, some of our publications are free for download, and you read it or try out the recipes and replace your recipes with our fabulous recipes, you will get the results. The only reason you need a doctor is because you need someone to help you reduce the medicines that you may be on.
Great, Dr. It's unlike every other program, this time I'm overoccupied with the kind of emotions pouring in through different medium. But as we all know, as rightly once Mr. Winston Churchill said that healthy citizens are the greatest asset that any country may have. And yesterday only I was listening and talking to Bill. His video is posted on my Facebook, and as we all know, we are trying to create a healthy society by promoting the concept of vegan, and he also said hello to you. A lot of people are passing on their compliments. They are pouring emotions, and
I would like to say something right now, and I just want to say that though I'm a vegan and a very staunch vegan, but it's not just vegan that can bring about health. So our plan is whole and plant-based and organic. So it's a little more than vegan. Vegan means no use of animal products. And of course, I'm very much for that, but this is a bit more than that.
oh, wonderful. Point taken, doctor. Is this difficult to practice, doctor?
See, any change is difficult. For example, if you sit with your family at the dining table, you might find yourself sitting at the same place every day. And it's really difficult to move to another chair because we are creatures of habit, right? When you change your toothpaste, it's difficult. When you change your job, it's difficult. When you change your house, it's difficult. But after some time, we get used to the new habit and then it becomes very easy. So, when you first change to a whole plant based diet, it's difficult. However, I don't think that the learning curve should be more than 1 week. If you're real slow, it might be 21 days. And I always advise people to follow it for at least 21 or 30 days. Why? Because it takes 21 days to change a habit. And once you get into the new habit, you don't even feel like going back to the old habit. However, our mind is a little different. And sometimes we do feel that, oh, I wish I could have chicken, or I wish I could have cheese, or I miss the ice cream. And that's not a problem. If this happens, and if you happen to eat that food that you used to love, don't forget to observe how your body feels. So I usually recommend that, do it 100% for 21 days or 30 days. And then after that, if you're dying to eat something, it's better to eat it than to just keep thinking about it, right? So eat it, but see how your body feels and put it into memory. And once you do that, the next time it comes your way, bring up that memory and see whether it's worth feeling that way again. Because our body gives us signals and our body tells us what food is good for us. And so after a certain period of time, you don't feel like eating the other things anymore. Like, you know, for example, right near my office is a shop that sells vegan ice cream. And I know that they put sugar in the ice cream. And my friends often told me that why don't you taste it once? And I'm not against it, I'm not against once in a while having a treat. But my feet just don't take me there because it's something that doesn't interest me. Sugar is too sweet for me now, So I hope that that kind of feeling happens to everyone, because I I have lots of sweets every day. I start my day with fruits and green smoothie, And sometimes even for dinner, I just have fruits and a smoothie. So I have so much sweet that I'm not longing for sweet.
Oh,
So that happened to you too, when you change your diet,
yes.
it becomes easy with time. It becomes so easy that it becomes a second nature.
Oh, wonderful, Dr. Point taken. Dear viewers, we are live in more than 80 countries through 26 channels. You can log into Twitter, Periscope. Viewers from Europe can join us through Periscope. Viewers from South Asia can join us through Talk TV. Just fine tune, right? NPAF Inc. And Dr. Nandita is live with us. Dr. Nandita, I cannot ignore one question coming from your one of the adherent believer, and she is Suhasini Kulkarni. What are your advices on on vitamin B and D? She is asking you a question.
Okay, so Suhasini, thank you for that question. And I just want to say that I never advise something just directly because it's always important to check the levels. I see patients, now doctors are giving vitamin B12 and D left, right, and center. And I see patients who have very high levels of vitamin B12 or D just because they have been over supplemented. So I always ask you to check the levels and then supplement as necessary. And if you go to our website, which I mentioned before, and go under Try Vegan, there's a page on vitamin B12 and D, and it tells you exactly how much to supplement depending on your level. And once you reach the normal levels, it also tells you how to supplement. Now, if you're living in a country unlike India, which isn't very polluted, say you're living in Canada and you're living in the suburbs and you have non polluted air, you can actually get vitamin D just by sunbathing. And vitamin D can be stored in our body. And so, you can get vitamin D in the summer, which will last you through the winter because vitamin D comes from the sun, but vitamin D is actually a hormone that's formed by our skin. It's formed by the action of the sun on our skin. And so if you go sunbathing and then wash it away with soap and water, it's gone too. So we need to be careful. Also, the receptors for vitamin D are close to our eyes. And if you wear sun goggles or sunglasses, then you may shut out vitamin D absorption as well. So there are lots of things to learn about vitamin D, and it's really important. The more you know, the more you can take care of it. But vitamin D is such an important vitamin because lack of vitamin D causes osteoporosis, and so many people have that, and also sleep disturbances, and also diabetes, and muscular pains, and so on and so forth. So it's really important. And all our hormones are orchestrated by the pituitary gland, and vitamin D is a hormone. And when one hormone goes out of balance, other hormones also go out of balance. And so it's really important to check and supplement. And similarly, vitamin B12 is made by bacteria. And because we have a super hygienic life these days, and our water is bacteria free, and sometimes even coming from municipal water lines which are chlorinated, and then we're eating foods which have been sprayed with pesticides and so on and so forth. And then, microwaves destroy B12, and even the mobile phone is a microwave, not to mention the G5 that's coming soon. And then we have microwaves in our kitchen which should not be used. And then we also have alcohol. Alcohol destroys vitamin B12. So there's so many factors that destroy vitamin B12. That's why we need to check the levels. Now, there are natural ways to get B12. Say you're eating a lot of raw and fermented foods. Maybe your B12 levels can be okay, but we need to check them and supplement if necessary.
There is a question coming from Abbas Monica. In nighttime, can we have smoothie?
Absolutely. Actually, So there are 5 stages of health, and the first stage is what I recommend, which is whole and plant-based and organic. But the next stage is even closer to what we should be eating, which is grain-free. Because as I mentioned earlier, actually wheat and rice are not our foods. The grains are for the birds and the grass is for the cows. We can't eat these foods raw. They're not really our foods. So in stage two, the grains drop off by themselves. And stage three is mainly raw. And stage four is only fruits. That means all botanical fruits. That means, the fruits that we call fruits, but also cucumbers and tomatoes, which are botanically fruits. And these are the foods which are naturally our foods that we can pick and eat raw. And actually, going from one stage to another is also a huge spiritual growth. And finally, stage five is living on light. And there are people today who are living completely on light and air. They're called breatharians. And, we just had someone speaking in our office who has been living on light and not even water, no food and water for 19 years.
Oh,
So that's an amazing achievement, and he's totally healthy, and he's dancing and he's exercising all day long, not at all tired. We are using a lot of energy to digest foods that are not suitable to us. I mean, we kind of know this. Like, do you remember the time when you had a meal of chicken or lots of cheese, like a cheese pizza? How do you feel after that? Kind of heavy, right? Sometimes it's hard to get up because we've overeaten. But if you eat a meal of just fruits and vegetables, how do you feel after that? Energetic and light, right? So that's because our body is not using all its energy to digest something that's indigestible or very difficult to digest.
yes, I totally agree with you, Doctor. As it was said by the inventor and the person who founded this allopathic medicine, Hippocrates said that let food diet be the medicine and medicine be thy food. And you are taking entire conversation in that direction. So you are consolidating the very foundation of medical science itself. And it is rightly said that to keep the body in a good health is a duty. Otherwise, we will not be able to keep our mind and body strong and clear, as rightly said by Buddha. So you are trying to help to develop the society and to embolden to nourish the society for well-being through your audio visuals, through your, and so nice of you that today you devoted time and appeared before the audience here in North America. There are a lot of people asking you several questions, but I would like to cover up the most pertinent questions that we derived based on Google algorithm. Again, a question came from Monica. Fruits and vegetables, how many servings required without grains?
Okay, so Monica, I believe that we don't need charts and we don't need to count calories. In fact, look at all the animals on the planet. None of them are overweight, right? Why are they not overweight? Not because they go around with calorie charts, but because they eat food suitable to their species. So, how much should you eat? Your body is going to guide you, and your body will guide you in every instance differently. For example, if you have fever, your body guides you and says don't eat at all. We've got to learn to listen to our body. But when we need more, our body guides us by saying, I'm hungry. So always eat according to your body. And we don't need to count anything. We just need to learn to listen to our body rather than books and doctors and parents and society.
Yes, point taken, Doctor. are there other doctors who are using this kind of a method for treating the patients, doctor?
Absolutely. There are doctors all over the world. We have doctors in our organization, SHARAN, who are doing consultations and talks and so on. But there are doctors even in United States and Canada, and I'd like to mention a few of them. Dr. John McDougall has been helping people through food for years. Dr. Dean Ornish, that you already mentioned, Dr. Neil Barnard, who's the head of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, Dr. Gabriel Cousins, who's written a book called You Can Reverse Diabetes, and so on. There are so many people who are working like this, but unfortunately, there are a lot more who are working in the other way, and that's partly because of demand. Patients want quick relief. They're not looking for a cure, they want quick relief. But when patients look for a cure, there are plenty of doctors who can guide them to get there.
Yes, I fully agree, and I was heavily touched upon a dialogue that you delivered in one of the presentations saying that they change the diet when they are compelled to, but they don't change the diet to stay in the state of well-being. I completely agree with you. When it becomes a compulsion, they have no choice but to change the diet, but when they do not wish to compromise with the test in order to keep and stay healthy. Doctor, next question to you is, are
Like
there
you
any diseases that can be reversed with this method?
Okay, before I get there, though, I wanted to just mention something that as you were talking. And yes, people are scared because they feel that they're going to be deprived. And here's what I want to say. Actually, the food is more delicious than what people are eating now. For example, at this point, I don't feel like going to most restaurants because my food at home is so much tastier, even though I have to cook it myself. So it's not really about taste, but right now it is about taste because we fear deprivation. So it's actually the fear of deprivation, and that's nothing to do with taste. Now, your next question. You were saying that, could you just read that question?
Yeah. Are there any diseases that can be reversed with this method?
Absolutely. All lifestyle diseases, for example, diabetes and hypertension, and there are many people who have reversed their cancer as well, or brought cancer into complete remission without the use of any of the modern day medicines. And then, of course, hormonal problems. We have so many hormonal problems these days. So, hypothyroid and infertility. In fact, we've got people who became pregnant after 11 years, just by chance, because they changed their diet. And autoimmune diseases. These are so important these days because more and more people are getting them. What are they? Type 1 diabetes and rheumatoid arthritis and ankylosing spondylitis, psoriasis, vitiligo, and there's so many of these. And actually, autoimmune means our body has produced antibodies against ourselves.
Mhm.
And the body never does that. Why does the body do that ever? Is because we have put in proteins that are not supposed to be in our body but look like our own cells. For example, it's been shown that type 1 diabetes is often a result of giving a baby cow's milk at an early age. So, what are the the animal proteins that should not go in our body? All the meat and milk and eggs and so on, they don't belong to our food. And so this causes autoimmune diseases as well as blood transfusions. Even when we have an organ transplant, we have to take an immunosuppressive drug because we have put a foreign protein in the body. In the same way, with the other foreign proteins, When you get an autoimmune disease, often we are given immunosuppressive treatment. So that's because we have put foreign proteins in our body where they don't belong. And that's what we have to stop doing. And modern medicine cannot cure autoimmune diseases, but there's one person who can, and that's you. Our body is equipped to heal these kind of diseases, provided we do all the right things.
Okay, there is one more question coming to you from Deepika Knapp. She has been listening our conversation and she is asking you something about pancreatitis be cured. Is it possible to regenerate pancreas? Now, this kind of medical condition should be consulted on a one-to-one basis. However, would you like to throw a light on her questions? On her questions?
Yes and no, because honestly, it's very hard to give personal advice. So I would like to say that yes, I would take cases of pancreatitis, and I wouldn't like to give advice to pancreatitis case over here because my way of doing it would be what is the cause of the pancreatitis? And I would be able to determine that only through a one-to-one consultation.
Exactly. Point taken, doctor. Thank you so much. Next question to you is, what are the different ways that can help the patients to get well?
I would like to here mention Dr. Lorraine Day's 10-point plan. Dr. Lorraine Day actually cured herself of breast cancer with this 10-point plan. And she has an acronym for it, New Start AB. So each letter of New Start AB stands for something. N for nutrition, then exercise, then water. We should have plenty of water. Then the New Start S. S for sunshine. Sunshine is good for vitamin D, but sunshine also helps us keep bright and active and not depressed. And then T for temperance. Temperance means getting rid of anything that we are addicted to. Today we have a lot of things that we are addicted to, like tea and coffee and colas, and sugar is addictive, and alcohol is addictive. But you know what? Even milk is addictive. When I say no more milk, people get scared. And they have the same feeling as if I was saying stop smoking or stop drinking. Animal protein is addictive. If I were to say no more chicken, it's scary. But if I were to say no more carrots, how do you feel? Can you see that it's a totally different feeling? The foods that are natural to us are not addictive at all. So T stands for temperance, which means get rid of all the addictive stuff. And A stands for air, fresh air. No matter where you live, fresh air is better than air conditioned, closed air rooms. And then R stands for rest at the right time. And then the next T stands for trust. Trust in, she says, trust in God. And I do believe that, God and nature are one. Trust in your body, trust in nature, trust that your body knows how to heal. Your body will actually tell you what to do to heal. But we have to listen to our body and not outside our body. And then a stands for attitude of gratitude and B stands for benevolence. Like, try to help everyone else. Today we have a huge problem. We have global warming. And this is going to affect all of us. But we are the cause of all these problems. We are the cause of environmental pollution. We are using plastic bottles and it's going into the environment and it's coming back to bite us. If we can start thinking about everybody else, what a difference it would be. Right now, we are, as we're thinking about how we can make life better for ourselves largely through commercialization. And when you go out and eat packaged foods, the manufacturers aren't thinking about is this healthy or not. They are thinking about how can they sell more? How can they make it more addictive? How can, it be such a hit in the market? And it's the same with restaurants, it's the same with pharmaceutical companies and so on. So we really need to go back to thinking about, if we are making a product, it has to be so healthy that everyone's life is gonna change by it.
Wonderful. When we as a team were doing the research on how to organize this interview, I came across a very good statement that be careful in reading the books. Be careful in to whom do you listen to and to whom do you follow to. If you listen to Dr. Nandita, you will get the health tips that will help you tangibly for sustaining your healthy lifestyle. But it is also wisely said that you may die of a misprint as well if you select any other author than or a book of your choice or the liking of your food taste, then you may not get the benefits what Dr. Nandita brings to the table today. And Doctor, we are reaching to the concluding session of our selective question answer, and this is the last question from our research team. What are the first steps that our listeners should take to get on their health journey according to you?
So, according to me, knowledge is power, and the very first step is to understand what you need to do and why, you know. So, that's the first. Like, even when I do a consultation, I don't tell people what they need to do, but I tell them why they need to do that. Because if someone tells me don't do this and don't do that, I don't feel like following them. But if I know the reason, I'm going to do it, right? So to really get knowledge of how your body can heal is number one. Number two is try some recipes. Maybe the first time it won't turn out so good, but our recipes are really simple and they will turn out if you try them and work with them. And my goal is not for people to use our recipes. My goal is for people to convert their favorite recipes into healthy. And that's what we actually teach through our cooking classes. So learn a little bit about how you can, make delicious food that you love, because if you love it, it'll become sustainable. And then just go for it for 30 days. And I would highly recommend doing tests before and doing tests after those 30 days, because that's very empowering when you see how much changes, how many changes take place in the lab reports.
Oh, there is one more question coming from my ex-faculty, Dr. Prakash Kondega. He is at Tampa, he is in US, and he wanted to know something about millets in our diet. What are your views on millets on?
Okay, so I think millet, we right now wheat and rice are staples, and it's very hard to get completely free of grains at the first shot. That's why we don't recommend that at the first shot. We just ask for whole plant-based and organic. But it would be really nice to replace um, wheat and rice, at least in some meals, with millets, because millets are just more nutritious and they're also better for the planet because they grow with a lot less water.
Oh, wonderful. Doctor, one terminal did not, somehow it did not activate, as technology does not offer you all the time absolute perfection. So one of the brackets is empty, but I'm sure people are trying to reach to you on your YouTube as well. So I urge you and your team of the researchers back home at India to attend them separately. We wanted to bring that questionnaire as well. Dear viewers, you are on live this conversation is going live in 80 countries through 26 channels, including Talk TV, Periscope. We have a lot of viewers from European countries, North America, Of course, from India, where Dr. Nandita commands undisputed popularity and her fan following is more than 50 to 60,000 followers potentially. They are benefited with the kind of advices she caters on through her interview, through her audiovisual, through her write-ups. So thank you so very much, Dr. Nandita. Overall, when we sum up our conversation, for example, from a country like Canada, where we have a stringent medical system, unless you do not have an MCP card, doctor would not allow you to step in. They will not take any responsibility. For example, when I live outside of India, and if in case I wish to, if I decide that no, I'm done with the system here, I want to go back to my homeland to take the treatment from Dr. Nandita. What is what the procedure should we follow like?
Okay, so you don't really need to come to India to take treatment from me because I'm doing really effective consultations on phone and Skype. And so also we have a team of doctors. So all you need to do is go to our website www.sharan-india.org, and on the home page, if you look on the right hand side and in the middle, there'll be a button to say register for a consultation. And when you click there, you'll go to another button and it will tell you what you need to do. You basically need to fill in a form with all your history, and you need to get certain tests done and send them and fill in a consent form, and you need to make a payment, and then the consultations will start. And I have to say that I am treating a lot of people all over the world, largely in the UK, in Dubai, in US and Canada as well, and even in Africa and all kinds of places. And of course, most of our patients are in India. But everyone can get better. And I also do want to say that, a lot of the information is up on our website, on our YouTube channel, and also there are many other doctors doing this kind of work. Now in the US, there are plant-based nutrition medical conferences. There are lots of doctors attending them. And if you're in the US and Canada, you might have seen the huge inflow of vegan products in the supermarkets, right?
Yeah, bring
And
it up. Yeah.
are realizing they have reached rock bottom. Illness is higher than ever before in the history of man, and people really want to get well. And more than just get well, a plant based diet is not just good for health, it's good for the environment, and it's good for animals. Animals are beings just like us. They feel pain and they want to live. And these billions of slaughterhouses, and just to feed 7 billion human beings, 70 billion land animals are being slaughtered every year.
Oof.
7 billion land animals are slaughtered as babies. Chickens are 6 weeks old when they go for slaughter. Goats and pigs are 6 months old, and cows are just 1.5 years old when they go for slaughter. So we really need to think about what we're doing to other species who share the earth with us, and we really need to think about global warming, because all these 70 billion land animals need food, they need water, they need air, and they're taking up space. And we don't have that kind of space anymore, and they're destroying biodiversity. And so it's really not just for our health that we need to change, but for the health of the planet, which is the future of our children. And that's why it's absolutely vital for everyone to change if you care about your children and you care about future generations.
Wonderful, doctor. It's like this flow of conversation is going in a way that I feel like it should never end, but we have no choice. I would like to mention some of the special contributors here to make it happen. I thank you so much for our all-time banner sponsor, Mutual Pharmaceutical and Sai Patro, for supporting our program. I also thank Mr. D.R. Joshi from India, who acts as a buffer to establish linkages between the potential speaker and NPAF. My co-student, Dr. Nipa, is also watching the program, as I can see, and she has a commanding reach as a classical dancer and a complementary medicine expert globally. She is also watching us from India. And hi, Doctor. We thank everyone. I would say that it is wisely said by Norman Cousin that every patient carries his or her own doctor within herself or within himself. So what you are promoting and what you are preaching to the world is that try to the possible extent, when there is no recourse, you need to go for the medication, but try to allow the body to recuperate on its own till such time you can. When there is no option, go for the medication under the medical advice. Is that right, doctor?
Correct. And the body can heal only if you do the right things, right? But before I say any more, I really want to thank you, Dr. Pranab Bhatt. I know that you've been after me for so long and, doing a lot of things to make this happen. And I really want to thank you for all the work that you put into this. And of course, your organization as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor. There are a lot of questions coming over the social media. We will not be able to accommodate everything. We have only last 5 minutes of airtime left over. So, beside to that, Doctor, would you like to pass on any special message for your any particular instruction? Dr. Amit Bhandaru is acknowledging. Deepika Neb is acknowledging that it's an amazing thought. Thank you, Dr. Amit, for thanking SHARAN. Would you like to pass on a message for your program or people, those who are interested to come to you for your 21 days reversal program? Would you like to convey any message to the listeners?
You know what? I already spoke a bit about the 21-day program. And if you want to find out more about that, you can go to our website and all the details are there, including the price and where it is and all of that. But since I have 5 more minutes, I'd be happy to answer some questions if they are coming in.
Yeah, Deepika Neb is saying it's an amazing talk. Sangeeta Sethi is also listening to us. Dear viewers, if you have any questions, still we have approximately 4 to 5 minutes before our airtime is over. Please write your questions here on the timeline of Dr. Nandita, or otherwise any particular instruction how to enroll for your 21 days program, Doctor?
Actually, you just go to our website, and not only the 21-day, but all the other events are there. So, for example, right now I'm going to Chennai and I have a talk there. And if there are any viewers from Chennai, I would love to have you there for that. That's called Conquering Cancer. And then I'm going to Mumbai and I have a reversing diabetes and hypertension seminar. And then we have our 21-day retreat. And right after that in Mumbai, I have another talk, which is hormonal havoc. And because we have so many hormonal problems. And then actually in July, I'm going to Delhi. And in Delhi, I have a few talks, Conquering Cancer. So if any of these, please do come. I do plan to be in Jaipur soon after that, and US later on in the year, and so on and so forth.
Wonderful, wonderful, Doctor. Words are poor barriers to express word of thanks and gratitude to you and the team of SHARAN. We are truly honored, gratified for fitting in NPAF in your busy schedule. Viewers are listening. Also to the viewers to whom we cannot accommodate today, Dr. Nandita's website address is given. We have a lot of requests coming from the doctors from India to accommodate and to fit them in. But here are the standards. If you have something novel, something innovative, and something unique like Dr. Nandita brings to the table, we will be more than happy. Our marketing team will be more than happy to organize interview with you to globally televise like this. But just to expect to organize the interview without an adequate preparation does not take us anywhere. That is one of the reasons why we do not respond to each and every request. When we saw the quality and media expertise in Dr. Nandita, instead of she coming to us, we ran after, we worked side by side along with her team, and today, as you see, more than 1,500 viewers are watching all over the world in real time, and more than 26 watch parties are organized on the Facebook. So we also want to canvass, we want to preach and promote the concept of vegan health and nutrition, well-being through this digital medium. We strongly believe that digital nervous system is to be rightly used for the mankind and for the well-being of the patients. And we look forward to invite more and more faculties like Dr. Nandita. Swati Sharan is asking you, reversing diabetes is in Chennai?
Reversing diabetes is not in Chennai just now, but reversing diabetes will surely be repeated in Chennai either by the end of this year or most probably, definitely by March 2020.
Wonderful. Malti Roy is stating that she enjoyed the talk and she will follow up with you on a one-to-one basis. Thank you so very much, dear viewers. It was indeed a fully well-organized program, and we tried to fit in a lot of questions to the viewers to whom we could not bring them in. We sincerely, as a host of the talk show, I personally and team of NPAF apologize because a couple of widgets did not activate today because of the issues of bandwidth that we always encounter at India. But surely she resides in India, and she is rightly awarded Nari Shakti Award by the President of India for her innovative and scientific work. Thank you so very much, Doctor. It was indeed a pleasure and honor to have you here in the studio of NPAF.
Thank you and good day.
Same to you, Doctor. 2 minutes, please. Thank you, viewers.